work every day, drive a truck, pump the poo and the food waste, bring home the money. What else is there? The last 2 years of my life, I've been kind of lost and unsure what to do with myself. And I thought this podcast might be a good way to get my shit out. We can talk about all kinds of issues, what's going on in the world. We can talk about your individual journey, build a community here to support each other. Talk about man stuff like smoking meats, going fishing, showing your kid how to tie a knot on a fishing line, how to change a tire. Talk about great feats of manliness that have been performed by great men like Teddy Roosevelt here. Best president ever. Proves that you don't have to be a liberal sissy to be a progressive. That man took a bullet and still made a 90-minute speech. The man is an absolute legend. All kinds of stuff going on in the world right now. Train derailment in Ohio. Random UFOs being shot down by F-22s. Some of them are Chinese spy balloons. Some of them might be $12 hobby balloons. Who the hell knows? Sometimes I wonder if this is just the natural progression of things or if there's any bigger conspiracy theory to it. But, especially with that train derailment in Ohio, I mean, you just had our president sign a bill that the railroad workers couldn't strike. Ironically, standing next to him was Marty Walsh. If you're from Boston, you know who Marty Walsh was. One of the biggest union guys out there, and all of a sudden now he's not supporting his union brothers' right to strike. I mean, come on, man. I just sounded like the president there. These railroad workers are saying we're working too long. We don't have enough people on shift. The trains are too long. I don't know much about how a freight train operates. I was reading something about slack in the train because the train's so long that the front's going faster than the back because the front's going downhill while the back is going uphill. Again, I'm no engineer, but, it seems pretty obvious that if you don't have enough manpower on a train that's a mile long, how many millions of pounds is that? I mean, I drive a tractor trailer with overweight permits, and I know 80,000 plus pounds doesn't stop on a dime. And my tractor trailer is 80,000 plus pounds. The freight train, man, there's freight trains that run right behind my apartment complex here, and they got to be at least a mile long sometimes. I don't even know. Imagine living in East Palestine, Ohio, going about your normal life. All of a sudden the trail derails, spills toxic chemicals all over the place. Birds are falling out of the sky. Fish are dying. It's, you get all these people that run everything talking about you need your green energy, renewable energy. But then, EPA is like, oh, the water's safe to drink 2 weeks after all these vinyl chloride and I can't even, I get the names of the things written down here and I can't even say the name of them. I can't even pronounce them. Like butyl acetylate. Come on, man. You seen some of these videos out there? People throwing rocks into local rivers and water supplies. You get all the oil bubbling up. You see the oil sheens going down the river, and you see the dead fish floating in them. It's disturbing. As someone who loves nature and going out hiking, taking my kids fishing, I think with the freight trains that run behind my apartment right on the Merrimack River, it could easily be a disaster that affects my life and my kids' life. And it's kind of disturbing when you think about it. Like, I've always been a fan of the saying that we're the government and we're here to help is the scariest thing you could possibly hear. I had to go see the officials drink a glass of tap water from that area of the world right now. They won't do it. Now they're claiming it's safe. What else is on the agenda here? there's been train derailments a lot lately. There's one in Michigan just this week. I mean, at some point in the middle of the pandemic, you had all those meat processing plants and food factories going up in flames. It makes you wonder, is this stuff planned? Is it coincidence? Because they're also trying to tell you not to eat meat now. Eating meat's bad. Cow fats destroy the environment and add to climate change, apparently. But anyways, that took a turn kind of for the negative real fast, huh, guys? We want to try to kind of have some kind of positivity here, and I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to release this, on YouTube or on a typical podcast outlets such as Buzzsprout, like Spotify, Apple. I don't know what my comments are going to look like, or what I'm going to be able to post for links and all that. But I want to get a conversation going and figure this stuff out. It's a scary world we live in. I don't understand why these people that tout healthiness think that meat made from chemicals and plant byproduct in a factory could be any more healthier for you than an industrial farmed cow. We already know that industrial farming and monocrop agriculture is, it's not good for you, it's not good for the planet. But I'd rather have meat that actually comes from an animal and isn't synthesized in a lab. I mean, you look at Bill Gates, who's pushing this stuff. He's not exactly the shining example of health. Neither am I by any means, but, I try. I just had a fucking heart attack a year ago. A little over a year ago. And, literally, you know what? After my heart attack, I came home from the hospital. For about the first 3 months, I had a little bit of extra money. And things were all right. And all I ate for about 3 months was unprocessed cuts of meat, salad, like a spring mix, with olive oil and balsamic vinaigrette. Not the stuff that you buy already pre-made in the bottle. That stuff's junk. It's all high fructose corn syrup. I got the actual balsamic vinaigrette of Moderna, along with the olive oil, lettuce, some nice shredded Parmesan. And then I ate a lot of brown rice, not the white rice. Brown rice is a little bit less processed, so apparently that's better for you. But I went from 300 pounds to about 270 pounds. I gained the weight back because I kind of, fell off the bandwagon. Depression's a hell of a thing, along with being broke. Along with trying to afford food, and prices just keep going up and up and up. I watched eggs over the last couple of years go from 79 cents a dozen to almost $7.50 a dozen. But, inflation is transitory. And then I'm told, there's an avian flu. That may be true. Who the hell knows? All I know is I miss when I had my chickens. A dozen free eggs a day almost, especially during laying season. But that's besides the point. So this being the first podcast I'm recording this over a couple of different sessions. So this might be a little bit chopped up in the edit here. But I'm looking forward to a indie pro wrestling event. When I was a kid during the late 90s and early 2000s. I absolutely loved the Attitude Era, WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. I still call it WWF, but I know that's the wrong way to call it now. I get a kick out of it though, because my son, he doesn't even watch it, but he sees the wrestlers on advertisements and mentioned on other shows, and he refers to it as WWs. He does the whole Daddy, look, it's John Cena, he's a WW, and he's like, can't see me, or Yeah, what is it? This can't see me. John Cena, he's an interesting one. You know, he's local to where I'm from. I'm originally from North Shore, Mass. He's from like Byfield or West Newbury, somewhere up there. Kind of like, not so much anymore, but it was kind of like a cowpoke area up there back in the day. It's developed a bit. Byfield itself is still pretty small. But yeah, no, back to Attitude Era WWF, man. I remember we'd see, like, whether it was a Raw or a SmackDown or just a house show coming. My dad and my cousin, my uncle, my aunt, they'd take us quite often. I got to see the Rock and Sock connection in 1999 when Mankind, Mick Foley, my all-time favorite, teamed up with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the Brahma Bull, teamed up with the Rock and Sock connection for the first time, and they defeated The Undertaker and Big Show. And it was quite a spectacle to see. And growing up with listening to JR and the King calling Monday Night Raw, I hear JR's voice, even now he's like doing the AEW thing, and I just think right back to fond memories of my childhood. You know, Stone Cold doing whatever the hell he wanted. You had the Godfather, a literal pimp, bringing the hoe train out to the ring. The things they could get away with back then, man. It is couldn't do that these days on TV. I apologize. I'm banging this pen on the desk here. I fidget. I can't not fidget. I can't sit in one spot for too long. I just have to fidget with something. It's not going crazy. I kind of get a feel for it. But I want to know what you guys are up to. What do you like? What are your favorite foods? What do you like to travel to? What do you like to visit? What do you guys like to do with your kids? What's your hobby? Fishing, working on cars? I love the White Mountains up in New Hampshire, one of my favorite places to go. I love to relax up there. I do a lot of photography, which you'll see a lot of this on this show, hopefully in the future. Kind of enjoy getting landscapes, whether they're natural or urban. You know, birds are numerous. They're a good, easy thing to get a photo of. Also, you know, that reminds me, probably 2 summers ago, I was out fishing with the kids at Lake Massabesic, right on the Manchester-Auburn line. It's a nice open area, a nice open shoreline. So when you're fishing with the kids, you know, it's easy because it's open. Because you ever go fishing with a toddler? A little kid, they swing the rod around like a crackhead with a sword. So, you know, not to worry about being on top of people, getting the lines crossed and all that. But anyways, there's a great blue heron. And if you don't know what a great blue heron is, it is a rather large wading bird. They're usually in the shallows, walking through the grass, looking for little fish and crustaceans. And this bird, I mean, these things stand probably like 3.5 feet tall. They're even bigger than that. I mean, he was taller than my kid. This particular great blue heron, he just kept walking towards us, and I'm pretty sure that this guy knows, hey, look, there's people. That means I'm gonna get some food here. People feed me all the time. He starts walking up to us, looking for something, and my kid's just like, oh my God, Daddy, that is a dinosaur. Do you see that dinosaur? And I'm like, well, you're not wrong. It is basically a big-ass dinosaur, right? Oh, big-ass bird. Closest living thing to the dinosaurs. Yeah, I got a little sunfish on the line, and as I'm going to take the sunfish off the line, the bird just gets close to me. I'm almost face to face with this guy. He's got a big, sharp beak. He's like, dude, buddy, give me the fish. Give me the fish. Just, you know, threw the fish at him. Launched down to the water, speared it with his beak, got it. You know, seeing him turn around in his beak and swallow into that bird gullet of his. Very, very cool creature. But I wouldn't want to piss it off. That beak, it's like a foot-long dagger. But fishing with my kids. It's rewarding. It's fun. It keeps them entertained. I grew up fishing with my grandfather and my father. Keeps me out of trouble, and there's no better feeling than when you're fishing and all of a sudden, bam! Big bass comes and takes your line, and you see it jump, and you reel it in, and I know it's like this. It's almost instinctual. Like I got this fish. It's like a dopamine rush. And guys like me will stand out there for 5, 6, 7, even more hours a day, whether it's rainy, whether it's cold, just to catch ourselves a fish. Just for that, even if it's just an on-off. And then when you get a little bit older in life and you have the kids, you have a wife, you have a job, you have all these responsibilities and these stresses, literally the best thing you can do is get out to nature, sit there, enjoy the cold. Not the cold. Enjoy the sounds of nature. Enjoy the breeze. Sometimes the cold is nice. Sometimes the warmth is nice. I guess depends on what your cup of tea is. But just connecting with nature and that fresh air and hearing the birds chirp, and even if I don't catch a fish, it's a near religious experience just to be out in the woods. Sometimes you get up to the taller mountains and you get all the way to the top, especially that one that's not full of tourists like Washington or Monadnock. You get up there, you get to a point where there's almost no noise. You can't hear any ambient city traffic. There's not even an airplane flying overhead. You might hear some bugs buzzing around, but not even on some of these mountains. And just the absolute silence on a nice sunny bluebird type of day, looking out over the scenery, especially up here in New England. And once you get to northern New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, the scenery it's absolutely beautiful. It's definitely God's country up there in the north. If I could, I'd live up there. I would have enough acreage of land so that I could just step out on the front porch, naked, have my sip of coffee, shoot my shotgun, and no neighbors would ever know that happened. That is my goal. One day, naked on a porch with a cup of coffee and my shotgun, shooting at my targets. So if you looked out the window and you saw a bunch of crows together, would you call that a murder scene? So that's my random thoughts for the evening. And hopefully I'll make this a good edit so it just doesn't sound like ADHD nonsense, because that's what most of what comes out of my mouth sounds like. Some people have been known to say I have diarrhea of the mouth. And eventually I'll come up with a name for this. I'll come up with a name for the show. The Drew Show, the Drew Cast, asshole up in front of a microphone. We'll call it something. You guys got any suggestions in the comments? Be nice. I like constructive criticism. Don't be a dick. And we'll see where it goes from there. It is Saturday afternoon that I'm recording this, so not sure when this is coming out, but I hope you have a good rest of your weekend, a good week, a good month. Tell your family you love them, and stay safe, stay alert, stay alive. Peace out.